fishing! In Heiltsuk Territory! No 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 fishing! In Heiltsuk Territory!
My name is Harvey Humchitt. I'm one of the hereditary chiefs of the Heiltsuk, and we're down here meeting the herring that was taken out of our territory. The fishery took place in a way that we don't agree with. We're trying to restore the herring stocks, and industry and DFOs seem to think that there's enough herring in our territory to warrant a fishery, and we don't agree with them. Just that it's a really sad situation that we have to defend ourselves like this. Harper government calls us protesters, and we're not protesting, we're protecting the herring and the resource that we depend on heavily.
My name is Marylin Slett. I'm the elected Chief Councillor for the Heiltsuk Tribal Council. Sunday about 4:30 we received notice that DFO opened up Spiller Channel that's outside of Bella Bella, about an hour away, for a seine fishery. And they gave us virtually no notice on that fishery. They conducted a test fishery against our objections and our concerns, and they opened up an area that's very sensitive to the Heiltsuk Nation for a commercial seine fishery. And we're just so concerned about the stocks, and how fragile they are. They cannot sustain that fishery. And we're standing out here, Canfisco. It was their industry fleet that fished, that herring. It's really devastating to our people right now. Our community is mobilizing. It's not over. That was a seine fishery, and we're gearing up for a gillnet fishery that will be open within a few days. The concerns of our people is we've seen these stocks decline and collapse, and we can't bear that risk of seeing that again. We cannot stand by with the mismanagement of DFO and the industry-friendly relationship that they have, around opening at any cost and fishing just to make a statement. That statement should be made around preserving the stocks and having a role in sustainability, rather than fishing it to extinction, and taking what's left in the water. That's just not right, and we won't stand by.
There are a number of First Nations on the coast of British Columbia that have expressed very clear concern for the herring stocks in their territories. They've been very gentlemanly about this, messaging clearly to the minister and to the media, requesting that their wishes and desires for their traditional territories are respected. And here we stand today outside the Canadian Fish Company, a company that went and fished in defiance of the Heiltsuk First Nation, a nation that has a deep, rich history, forever tied to the lands and resources of their territories. It is First Nations who know what's going on in the territories, not the company behind us. The company has one interest, and that's profits. And the Heiltsuk Nation have stood up and have said they want their territory to be as abundant for future generations. And they wish and demand now that their direction given to Minister Gail Shea is respected in its fullest form. Canada has endorsed the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, and in there are sections that relate to land use planning and protection of environment and protection of food sources as well. And I think the government would do well to spend some time developing a relationship, pursuing reconciliation with First Nations as the court has directed them to reach a better understanding rather than choose a path of constant conflict with First Nation people.
We're here to send a message to Canfisco, to the industry, to let them know that we are mobilizing in Bella Bella. There will be no gillnet fishery in Heiltsuk traditional territory. No gillnets. It's time for Canfisco to go. Yes. Yeah. stand by and see the further mismanagement of DFO rape the resources left in our territory to take every last fish there is in the water. We will not allow that to happen.
We're not going to continue to allow industry and Department of Fisheries notions to encroach on the resources that we're dependent on. Far too long, Department of Fisheries notions has been managing this particular fishery as one species, and it's such an important species to the whole ecosystem. And we're going to do anything in our power with our neighbors to fight off industry and to fight off the federal government on taking our resources that we're dependent on. There's a doctrine of priority that we're looking at as a result of the Gladstone decision, and it's conservation first. And Jim Pattison just continues to ignore the fact that there's conservation issues throughout the coast. Not only with herring, but with salmon and other resources that he runs this particular business on. And so we're fed up with the way he's monopolizing the fishery and just taking resources whatever way he feels. And so our people are on the grounds right now protecting the herring. We're here to speak up for our people and the rights of not only our people but all Aboriginal people. That we're not going to continue to allow the Department of Fisheries notions, the federal government and the industry to infringe on our rights. And so we're going to stand up here today in solidarity and just thank you all for coming. And so we say no to commercial fishing until we know that the stocks are strong enough, and then we can allow these people to come in. But right now there's not enough herring on the central coast to sustain a sacro fishery. There's not enough.
Contessa Brown from the Heiltsuk Nation, and I oppose the opening of the herring fishing in our territory. And I'm here also for the future generations. As my grandson stated, he wants the herring for the future, for our food resources, because we depend on that food. And it's like we're talking to deaf ears with DFO and the government when it comes to us addressing this very issue. It's depleting. The fish are depleting, and we don't want to see that happen. And they just went ahead and did it. So we're here to give notice that we do not want the herring fishery to open in our territory.